Great. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon to come and learn about our PTech and STEAM programs. My name is Liberta Crouch. I am one of the family engagement facilitators for the Office of Family Engagement. I oversee Parent University, and we are going to get right into our presentation. I just want to go over a few housekeeping rules before we get started. We ask that you keep your phones and computers muted throughout the whole presentation, just so we avoid any background noise or disruptions. We also ask that you save your questions until the very end because there might be something in the presentation that will answer that question for you. At the end of the presentation, we will give a chance for questions. You can put your question in the chat and I can ask it for you, or you can raise your hand and we'll unmute you and you can ask your question yourself. So I am going to turn this right over to Wendy Rez. She is the PTech coordinator for the CTE department. And she is going to start us off with our presentation.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me today during the middle of the day and working out your schedule so you could be a big part of this. I also want to thank the Office of Family Engagement for putting these virtual sessions together because they understand how necessary it is for our students and their families to really learn about what SESD has to offer at the high school level. So thank you. I'm going to share my screen so that we can all see the same PowerPoint presentation. All right, so just to start off for today, I'm going to do an overview of the PTech programs, discuss the role of the college partners and what it means to be a PTech graduate. So for those of you who don't know, PTech stands for Pathways in Technology Early College High School. It is designed for students to do career-focused courses in which they earn both high school credit while also taking college courses. It's a combination of various partners. So it's the high school, it's the community college that is a partner, and it's local industry partners that play a huge role in the student success and the success of the overall PTech program. When students are enrolled in a PTech program, they're earning a high school diploma just like their peers at any other high school. The way these programs came to be is industry partners, the state, SCSD saw that there was a need in in specific areas, and there's a good job outlook in the next 10, 20 years within this field. During this time, students are earning work experience in areas that are continuing to grow, and this is free to the students and the parents. They do not have to pay for this. Students earn a 2-year associate's degree from a local college. There are four high schools that contain PTech program. At ITC, they have a mechanical and electrical technology program. Students take courses and earn credit from OCC. And what many students choose to do is they may choose to join a local workforce in an area perhaps around mechanical electrical technology or within that field. And many do go on to go to a 4-year college. And what's unique about the PTech program is all the credits that they get will help go towards that 4-year college degree, which ultimately means they don't have to spend all 4 years there because they're getting a lot of college credit while they're in the PTech program. At Henniger High School, they have a lot of the health programs. So clinical lab technology is through SUNY Broome, while OCC, Onondaga Community College, has a program of health information technology and health sciences. And students can either are equipped with resources and classes to earn their associate's degree, or many choose to go on to a 4-year college. At PSLA, there's 2 really great programs. One of them is remotely piloted aircraft systems, AKA drones. The word drone is definitely more appealing than RPAS, but that's the official name for it. And that is through a joint partnership with OCC, but students ultimately end up earning their degree from Mohawk Valley Community College. And the CIS program is through OCC. And the newest program for PTech is at Corcoran High School, which is a computer chip technology and production program. And this is closely aligned to Micron. We all have heard about Micron, and what this program does is it supplies students with courses, experiences from people actually through Micron, and a degree that will prepare them for the jobs for when Micron finally gets here. It's partners up with OCC as well. They just got a new simulation lab that our students also have access to. And what I mean by it's the newest program, right now there's only 9th and 10th graders. But next year, there'll be a new set of students. So they will have 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students in this program. These are a lot of the partners that are affiliated with Syracuse City School District's P-TECH program. They serve as mentors for our students. A lot of our students go there in 9th and 10th grade to go on job site visits to learn about their facility and what they do, not just for Central New York, but for other parts of the world. What's unique about the P-TECH curriculum is I've mentioned that students can get the associate's degree for free. So if they're on track and passing their courses, by the time they get to high school, their senior year of high school, they'll have 24 college credits with them at the same time as they walk across the stage for high school graduation. Students can either A, choose to continue in the P-TECH program, or B, they can exit and go on to four-year school or look for a position with the college credits they've earned. But the program is designed so that students can earn a degree within 6 years after high school, and it will still be free for students as long as they stay with the P-TECH program. Our P-TECH instructors are unique because they're also CTE instructors. So for those of you who don't know what CTE stands, it's for Career, Technical, and Education. They are all professionals. A lot of them have worked in the industry for years. A lot of them might have earned a degree within a specific field. They didn't necessarily go to be a teaching, but they went for drones, or they went for computer systems, or they're nurses. Some teachers still like to work shifts in the hospital as certified nurses. And the reason they do that is because they want to maintain their nursing certification. So they're able to bring what they've learned in the field still currently and bring it to the classroom so students have real life experiences. And for those teachers who may not be in the field anymore, there's steering committees in which they stay in contact with other people who are currently in the field to learn about new certifications, new equipment, and anything that students would need to know now to be prepared for the workforce in a specific area. So in terms of college, students take their first college class in 10th grade. When they are in 11th grade, they start going to OCC for twice a week where they're taking a class. That class might be a math class, it might be a technical class, something that's in their pathway. And once they are in 12th grade, they start going to OCC 4 days a week. So they're taking 2 classes up there. So during 10th grade, it's their first class of college. During 11th grade, they're taking 2 courses in person at OCC. And during their senior year, they're taking 4 courses altogether, 2 in the fall and 2 in the spring. And depending on the schedule, sometimes students are able to fit a 3rd class during the semester. So doing all this together and earning college credit allows students to be able to graduate high school with 24 college credits. As I mentioned before, students after their senior year, students can still choose to remain in the P-TECH grant, and they can continue taking those college courses in their pathway, whether it's mechanical technology at ITC, or the new computer chip program at Corcoran, or the CIS program at PSLA, or any of the health programs at Henniger. If they choose to stay in the P-TECH program, they get to go to college still for free, including the cost of books is provided as well. So this would be at no cost to the students or their families. So I think P-TECH is unique because it's a different way to do high school. They're both in high school and college, and there's a lot of great support systems for these students. So they're not at the college all by themselves. We have people called career transition specialists, or college transition specialists, who are there to assist with students with anytime they're having trouble in classes. They're there to communicate between myself, their high school, their guidance counselor, so that students aren't just thrown into college and expected to meet all these challenges by themselves. There's a lot of communication that happens to make sure that the students remain successful. Students will also have access to the Learning Center up at the college, and we have summer programs that will prepare students for college courses as well. In terms of the business connection, a bunch of slides ago, I had a list of all these business partners. The goal is for these business partners to enter the classroom in 9th and 10th grade so that students are meeting people, individuals from industry where they can have conversations, they can learn more about whether it's the health field, a manufacturing field, whatever it is. Students are collaborating with them. Students are also visiting these businesses so they can learn more about how they operate. There's possibilities in 11th grade. The goal is for all students to participate in job shadowing and eventually internship. Right now, for instance, we have a student who's a senior, or not a senior, they're in their final semester at OCC, and this December, they will be graduating with their associate's degree in mechanical technology, and they were able to work out their schedule, so they're also participating in a paid internship with a local company, and that's going to prepare them. They've gotten an entire degree for free, and then next semester they will be in the spring, they will be going to RIT to continue receiving an engineering degree. So overall, P-TECH students are unique. They're earning real credentials that would make them great candidates in the field compared to other students, depending on the program they're in. Some might be earning the OSHA 10 certification. Others are earning their federal license for unmanned pilots for the drones. Some are getting CPR certification, and overall they're becoming ready for success at the college level and careers. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to January Kelly, who's going to be discussing the STEAM High School. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is January Kelly. I'm the Supervising Director of CTE here in Syracuse City. I'm going to run through the regional STEAM High School. We did have virtual sessions last week around all the CTE programming offered within Syracuse and the other 5 high schools. If anyone might have missed those sessions, feel free to check out our website. You can email me. I can put my my email address in the chat. And you can feel free to email me any of your questions in case you missed any of those sessions. This one is going to be focused on the regional STEAM high school. But if you have any questions around the other high schools, like I mentioned, please reach out. So our regional STEAM high school, it is located, it's a formal central high school that's located downtown across from the hub on the corner of South Salina and Adams Street. So the Syracuse City School District, the city of Syracuse, and Onondaga County teamed up to develop the area's first ever STEAM high school, regional STEAM high school. It's the first one in the state. So no other building like this exists. We offer rigorous academic curriculum with a focus on STEAM. It's opened up for our families in Syracuse City, but also in our OCM BOCES component districts. These are all the OCM BOCE component districts. So if you are from outside of Syracuse City School District, and if you live and have students in one of these school districts, then an 8th grader or younger, you could apply to the regional STEAM high school. So it has state-of-the-art facilities and the equipment, the auditorium that's getting renovated. A lot of the history is sticking with that. It's going to be absolutely beautiful and stunning. It already was. But because it was sitting there in use for so long, we just really have to renovate it and clean it up a little bit. The college coursework offered in all of the concentrations. So like Wendy was explaining with P-TECH and the college courses that they do, in CTE, we have college credit now courses, and all of our CTE programs have college credit now built in. And some of those, we call it CCN. Those CCN courses are being offered to our 10th graders, to our 11th graders, and to our 12th graders. There's mentoring, internships, job shadows with some of our top companies in the area. and our art organization. There are sports, extracurricular activities, after school, as well as summer programming. These are just a list of scratches the surface of who our collaborators are, but we just wanted to share a lot of our collaborators with everybody. So here are the programs that the CTE programs that are at the regional STEAM high school. There's animation and game design, business and entrepreneurship. The next slides, in case you're just wondering, it is going to dive deeper into each of these programs. This is just an overview of all of the programs that we are offering. The computer chip technology and production, construction management, data analytics, music, movie, and theater production, performing arts, visual arts, and robotics and automation. So in animation and game design, students are going to have the opportunity starting as freshmen to really dive into this industry and this career and start working with all these digital applications and digital platforms around the animation and game design world. There's colleges now that have varsity teams that are gaming. I was never a gamer, but there's now like varsity sporting club events with gaming. So this is just going to introduce kids to that world at 13, 14 years old, and they're just going to go to college with a leg up. All of our kids will in this animation and game design program. Business entrepreneurship. I feel like there's entrepreneurs all over the place in today's world. So this is just preparing students for careers and further education in the training world of business, and just learning different concepts and ventures and what does it look like to be an entrepreneur? How do you become one? How does one start? So that's really what the students do in this program. In computer chip technology and production. So this program was designed hand in hand with Micron. We also work with OCC as they have created an associate's degree also with Micron around the computer chip technology and production. They just built a clean room up at OCC that has now finished. We have a simulated clean room at the STEAM school. So this is really just about those little chips and fabs and technology and all that type of production in this program. In construction management, so this is the other side of it. So at Nottingham, we have our construction technology program, and that's really like the hands-on doing the cutting, doing the woodworking, all of that. This program at STEAM, this is managing that construction site. This is, you could be a code enforcement officer, a contractor, you do all the cost estimates, be a field engineer. So this is more that management level of what sites look like. And that's what you would learn in this program. In data analytics, you're going to just learn the fundamentals of the data science, what numbers are showing you, how to work in data sets, how to be a risk analyst. This is all numbers. I'm a former math teacher, so I love numbers. I would have been all over this pathway. But it's really like, what are the numbers telling you? You learn about the reasons why, the reasons behind the data, and you analyze it. Music, movie, and theater production. This has a lot to do with set design, light design, everything that you think can go into a concert, to a Broadway show, to movies, to production assistants. That's where you're going to learn all these things. If you've ever been to a concert or Disney on Ice or a graduation, if you've had a kid that graduated, and the sound things with all those buttons and colors and lights, this program can also teach you how to use that system. And you could just be someone that, learns how to do that. I think that's pretty cool. Performing arts. So in performing arts, this is just all around the drama. You could be a screenwriter with this, casting director, band, chorus, orchestra. This encompasses all of our performing arts that we're going to offer at STEAM. Visual arts. So this is the other side of arts. So this is graphic design, photo, ceramics, more of the visual side of it. And that's how it's been differentiated. So when students do get that high school choice application, there's a performing arts piece and a visual arts piece. And we go in and we talk to all the 8th graders after the CTE Expo. I'll dive more into that in a couple minutes. Around what that is. And we let kids know, like, if you're into photo, graphic, set design, a cartoonist, this is more visual side for you. If you're into the drama, the dance, the band, the orchestra, then that would be the performing arts side of it. And then new for the 26-27 school year is we're going to take dance out of the performing arts and we're going to create a dance pathway. We're going to be able to get this CTE New York State approved as a dance pathway. We're very excited about it. I think the dance floor just went in. I know the dance room was under construction, but we're even going to pull this one out further from the performing arts, and we're going to create an entire dance pathway. So that's very excited for our dancers that are in Syracuse, that are in our OCM BOCES region. So the curriculum. So one thing about our curriculum, it's always fluid because the industry is fluid. So we have our teachers review curriculum with our curriculum writers twice a year. We have advisory meetings with our curriculum writers. We have advisory meetings with our business and industry folks. And we just want to make sure that we're staying up to par with everything, with our industry standards, our career ready practices, because our folks left that workforce to come and be teachers, to train the future of tomorrow, that they might not know, oh, what's changed in dance, what's changed in data analytics. So we have those conversations twice a year that if we need to adjust our curriculum, that's something that we do. These are career ready practices. So these are the ones, the 12 that our students learn through being in CTE. We call them a lot our soft skills, that we want our kids to learn these skills. And it's something they can carry with them forever. If they sat in business entrepreneurship for 4 years and they may want to go to college to become a lawyer, go ahead, right? Like, you don't need to go and be an entrepreneur if maybe you change your mind or if you're not feeling that anymore and you want to go to college for something completely different. That's great. But we want you to take all of the career ready practices, all the soft skills, everything that you've learned in CTE with you for lifelong practices. So what does the data tell us? So students that are enrolled in CTE pathways in Syracuse City School District, there is increased engagement, better attendance, higher GPAs, higher graduation rates, and CTE students are earning more college credits. They're more college and career ready. And they just take, like I said before, all of those soft skills, especially like problem solving and critical thinking. And sometimes those skills just become lost arts in today's society. And that's just what our data has been showing us. So here are some upcoming events. So the first week of November, there's going to be 2 more video chats, and the topic of those video chats, it's going to be the high school choice registration and selection process. So you're going to be with myself, our executive director of CTE, and the director of registration, and we're going to be leading those sessions. That's November 4th and November 6th. We have our CTE Expo coming up. So that is next week, next Tuesday and Wednesday. It's going to be at OCC. We have a family night that Tuesday. So on Tuesday, the 28th next week, please come by the expo from 4:30 to 6:30, and you can meet our teachers. You can meet the district CTE team. You can see our programs. You can just gain some more knowledge and awareness around our CTE stuff. So again, that's on Tuesday, the 28th from 4:30 to 6:30. It's at the SRC Arena. So we invite all families to come up on that event next week. And then we have our open houses. So again, if you are inside the district, feel free to come to all 6 of our open houses. I know it's a lot. Fingers crossed there's no snow days. But those are all of our CTE open houses. If you are from outside of the district, the STEAM High School open house is on Thursday, December 11th from 4:30 to 6:30. So that's when STEAM will be opened up. And again, you can see the classrooms, meet the teachers, meet the admin team over there. And that's when the STEAM open house is. Another thing I want to note is around the applications. So applications are going to be available online and in paper the week of November 17th. Again, we're going to give more information on that in our virtual sessions. For our folks outside of the district, they need to get it to their superintendent or their school building designee from November 17th until the end of January. January 28th is when they are due. So that's just something around our applications. I see that there's some questions in the chat. This was the end of our slides. So
Yeah, I
I'm
can
gonna
read those
go
if
up
you want.
to the last question
Director,
that I see up here. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Was
I
someone
can read
talking?
those if you want, and then you guys can just answer them.
Oh, sure.
Okay, that's how we normally do it.
Okay.
I did see you answered the first one, but I still want to ask it just in case
Okay.
no one's paying attention to the chat. So the question was, does this mean that they are graduating in 6 years instead of 4?
I can answer that question. So if you're in the PTech program, you're still going to be walking across the stage with everybody else that you're in high school with in high school, but you still get to continue earning and working towards your associate's 2-year degree from the college that you're associated with. So you have up to 2 years after high school to earn that associate's degree for free.
Thank you. And then the next question was, what does college credit now mean? How is CCN different from SUPA credits and or AP credits and or taking college courses as described in the first part of the presentation?
That's a great question. We get a lot of these questions. So CCN college credit now. So it's in line with what SUPA and AP credits are. So it's all college credit that we're earning. It's not a separate class though. So there's, SUPA physics, SUPA bio, SUPA English, all like AP world and AP, all of those courses. Our college credit now classes that we offer through CCN are offered concurrently in manufacturing 200. So while our kids sit in manufacturing 200, they're also going to be getting an OCC course of MET 151 that their manufacturer teacher is teaching, and they get it through their CTE class. Our fire rescue kids at PSLA, the current juniors over there right now, they are in fire rescue 300, but through that course, they're getting a fire rescue technology course through OCC. So the CCN is different it's not a separate class that they take, it's integrated through their CTE class, as SUPA and AP are courses that students would have to take and apply to, if that makes sense.
And at any time, anyone can raise their hand and we can unmute and we can clarify, you can clarify your questions, and we can do that as well. Can students take classes in more than one program?
STEAM is looking at, so they have their CTE programs. They're also looking at academies. So minors and majors within that academy and what that looks like. So if you want to be taking data analytics and also take band and also take choir, then that's something that you're able to do. If you want to sit in um, like construction management, could do. But you can't, I don't want to say you can't. I do not believe that you can sit in an animation and game design class and sitting in a business entrepreneur class. However, to kind of get around that is we are creating, like there's an entrepreneur elective that we can offer through the district that's in the course catalog. And we're trying to build electives around that because it's a CTE New York State approved coursework. So a student sits in animation and game design in levels 100 through 400 through their ninth grade through their 12th grade year. So within that, yes, you can take a band. Yes, you can take choir. You can take a ceramics. You can take visual arts. You can take all of those courses. If you were also interested in business entrepreneurship or in a construction management course, then we're looking to design electives around that. So like I said, there is an entrepreneurship elective that then you can take there. You just can't sit also in the business entrepreneurship class, if that makes sense. I'm going to hopefully not have to end all of my questions like that. But the last two, I'm hoping that I make sense with those two questions.
It's all right. And this one is kind of related to the previous question. If a student elects one program, does that lock them into the program for all 4 years?
I don't want like to use the terms lock them in because I'm never going to tell a kid at 12, 13 years old when they're in eighth grade, listen, you signed up for data analytics, you have to be in data analytics for the next 4 years. If a kid has a different interest, especially freshman year, we look at things on a case by case basis. We're not going to tell a kid they can't drop. We're not going to tell a kid that, if there's room in another pathway, not that we're not going to look at it for that kid. So, and this goes in any of our CTE programs, so not just at STEAM. I know today was about STEAM, but in all of our 6 high schools, we don't ever want to say you're locked in. You chose that, and we work hand in hand with registration, especially freshman year. Like when they get to one of our other high schools, especially, if they're a PSLA, there's 14 programs like, oh, I really thought I wanted to be in law enforcement, but now I'm thinking I want to be in fire rescue. And we have those conversations with the kids, with their parents, with the admin of that building, with the school counselors. We have a whole process that goes behind it. So no, it doesn't lock them in. But if they do choose that program and if that's where they feel passionate and want to be for 4 years, then yes, it would lock them in that sense of as long as you don't want to leave, you have a seat in this program for all 4 years.
Great. What training and teaching practices and pedagogy does the staff get who are not trained as teachers?
That's a great question. I mean, a lot of our CTE teachers, I'm just, thinking of like our auto tech teacher, right? Like he worked in an auto shop for years. And I think his wife was in education anyway. So he's our auto tech teacher. They haven't sat in 4 years of college. If there's any teachers on here, right? Like we did. He didn't get his master's in education or in any of those classes, right? So this is such a great question because how do they get that trained? We do a teaching to lead professional development with all of our brand new teachers. We do a new CTE teacher boot camp. We have a CTE teacher mentor. We work with those teachers to do those basic teaching practices, that pedagogy. What does a lesson plan look like? Our biggest question is, how to differentiate, right? Like that's such a buzzword in education. How do you differentiate? What does a lesson plan look like? We also have ENL and special ed teachers that are working with all of our CTE teachers to even just break it down further for modifications and accommodations for our ENL and our SPED students. So there's a lot of training that we do within the district, within CTE for our teachers. Also, teachers, we look at resumes. We also say we work in HR sometimes, but we look at resumes and we do everything that we can get them to do to get certified. So they can start off with a transitional A. So our auto tech teacher had more than 2 years in experience. New York State's gonna say you can become a teacher in auto tech. However, you still have to go back to college. So our CT teachers have to go back to college. They have to go and take 9 classes to get their professional certification. So we do a lot of PD with them. We do a lot of classroom training with them, and they have to go back and take 9 college courses to become fully certified to become a CTE teacher in our district.
Great. The slide on curriculum says opportunity to earn college credit and college degrees. What does that mean?
I can answer that because that was actually one of my slides, I think. So kind of what January just said, we're never going to tell a student that they're tied to a specific program. So if they change their mind. So let's say we have a student in a P-TECH program earning college credit, after the senior year, they take those college credits with them, they don't lose them. So after the senior year, if they choose to not continue in the pathway that they are, choose to join the workforce, choose to go get a 4-year degree at a completely different field, they earn those college credits, or they can continue to earn that college degree. That's if that makes sense. And then that college degree could transfer on to a 4-year school.
Okay. Are students who enroll at STEAM enrolled in the CTE pathway, or are there non-CTE pathways at STEAM?
Every program at STEAM is a CTE pathway. So in Syracuse City, and I know STEAM is a regional high school too, but we have 3 comprehensive high schools, and then we have 3 CTE pathway buildings where every kid is in a CTE pathway building. So STEAM falls in the category of being a CTE pathway building where every student is in one.
Okay. So the next question just says, so that is just for STEAM. So I'm guessing that might have been somewhere in your presentation. I don't know if Ms. Crutchfield wants to unmute, and I don't want to put her on the spot either. But I don't know if she wants to unmute to elaborate on that question. I'll give you that choice.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, she was talking about a couple programs at the STEAM, and I was trying, half my question came up in the other part, because I was like, with all the new programs y'all have at the STEAM, what are y'all preparing our students in that's coming in to be able to know about these programs and want to do these programs in the schools they already in? Because you got 8th graders, you're talking about dance, you're talking about music, you're talking about computer design, chip, all that stuff. And these are programs that from 8th on down, our kids was never like introduced to them to know if this is something they wanted to do. So I would like to know, because I have an 8th grader and I want him to be able to choose what he wants, but I don't want to put him in a program because he's like, well, that sounds good, if he's never been introduced to these programs.
Another great question. So next week, every 8th grader in the district is going to go to OCC for the CTE Expo, or Career and Technical Education Expo, where every 8th grader is going to get exposed to all 40 programs, meet teachers, meet kids that are in it. We call them our CTE student ambassadors. And that kind of kicks off their high school choice application process. So they get exposed to all of these 40 programs. They get a choice book is going to get mailed home the week of November 3rd. So every family, every 8th grade family in the district is going to get a choice book. And that choice book is going to encompass, again, all 40 programs. And it's going to be a little different this year. It's going to explain what our programs are, but it's also going to show families a roadmap of what their 4 years will look like. So that's what our choice book is. We also have a middle school coach that she's been in all 12 of the middle and K-8 buildings. She's been doing a lot of expo pre-work and prep so students know what to expect. And then the CTE district team on the back end. So after the expo, before the applications get mailed home, the week of November 17th, we go into all of the buildings as well. And we go into the social studies classroom, and we also talk to all of the 8th graders, and we go through all 40 programs with them and answer any of their questions. As a sidebar, another thing that we're doing is we have recognized that CTE is in 6th and 8th grade. All 12 buildings do it slightly different, and it's not as consistent as we would like it to be. That we want our 7th graders to get exposed to all 40 of our programs. That is our goal in 7th grade, that they know every 40 programs. So when they go into 8th grade, they can say, hey, mom, hey, dad, in 7th grade, I learned about this. These are the 5 programs that I might be interested in. And then they can narrow it down when they go to the expo. Maybe they meet the teacher and they're like, man, that teacher is gold. That's who I would want to spend 4 years with. Or maybe they see a teacher and they're like, yeah, I don't know if we're going to mesh well. So we recognize that we need to do some more work at the middle level. And that's really going to be our focus this school year, to do that work at the middle level.
Okay, so that is the field trip they going on the 29th, the day after the family night, correct? Well,
So
my kids go
school-
to HW, so I'm just going to talk about my child
Okay,
because he
so
goes to
HW will be on the
goes-
29th.
and they're only there for 45 minutes. So how are they going to look at the whole 40 different things? Maybe I'm just wrong, but being a parent, I feel like there's more to this, because I had one of my kids go in from one school. He wanted something, and the lady from HW Smith just put him somewhere else. So I'm staying on top of everything, because with our kids, we putting them in places and then they don't go to school, and everybody trying to figure out why, because they're not interested.
So that's where we recognize, we know we got to do more work at the middle school CTE level. And we are doing that prep work. So hopefully the middle school coach has already been to HW Smith. So he had some of that prep work already to go into the expo. And yes, they're only there for 45 minutes because we have to funnel 12 buildings in a time restraint in 2 days for the expo. And that's why we then go into the classrooms after the expo to carry that momentum that then carries into our CTE open houses. So it's kind of this continuous conversation around it. We did the pre-work, we have the expo, we go in, we have open houses. Here's the high school choice application. That it's all fresh in the students' minds. So that's what the process is going to look like. If that makes sense.
And just to remind everybody, I just placed the flyer for all the events, just to discuss, or just to add that the family night for that CTE Expo is next Tuesday from 4:30 to 6:30. And the open houses are a great opportunity for families, students to come in and have those discussions with the programs and the teachers, and really see the classrooms, talk to the teachers, and see what they're going to be doing in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th grade for a specific CTE program of their choice.
And at any time, please call the CTE office, ask them questions. They are all there available to talk with you. This flyer is also posted, I believe, on our Office of Family Engagement page, and I will see if they can post it on all of the SCSD social media pages, so you guys will have it for reference. Also, these chats are recorded, so you can always come back and look at this information. If something sparks, then you can always call the CTE office, and they will be more than willing to answer any questions that you have. Go back to the chat because a few more questions came up. From the STEAM school, are students taking classes at the STEAM school, or are they going to OCC and other colleges to take classes?
They are taking classes at the STEAM school.
And then, so 8th graders are going to the OCC Expo during the school day?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, there's 12 middle and K-8 buildings. So over the course of the 28th and the 29th next week, the 8th graders are going to come up during the school day.
And then do kids need prior experience and skills in these CTE programs, for instance, dance, computer skills, etc., to be accepted into the CTE program?
Nope. We want kids that have an interest or maybe a passion around it, that if they don't have any prior experience or a skill set, we can teach them that. But we can't teach passion. We can't teach that interest. So if there's someone who may have never danced before or wants to learn about cybersecurity, and they don't have any prior experience, that's okay. The teacher's job is to teach them. And that goes for all of our programs, P-TECH, CTE, and any 6 of our high schools. We have welding. I'm assuming 10-year-olds aren't welding. But if there's an interest in welding, right, that's where it comes in. We have our HVAC programs. So, we recognize that there's not going to be prior experience. If a kid we just want the kids in front of us that are excited to learn in whatever CTE program that they choose.
And I think that kind of answered the second part of that question. And then we have the flyer, and then we had a thank you very much. This was very informative. If there are any other questions that we can answer for you at this time, you could post in the chat or you can raise your hand. Great info. Thank you very much. And again, like I said, these are recorded. They will be on the Office of Family Engagement page. And I also think Rachel sent them to the CTE office. So CTE can post them on their page as well. So you can always go back and ask for any questions that may pop up later. Because I know I'm the type of person that will have a question like at 2 a.m. And then you can always reach out to the CTE office. Well, we got thank you. All right. So I think that looks like we are about done. CTE, thank you so much for taking your time today. I know you guys had a very busy, complex schedule, but thank you so much for taking your time to talk to our families about the wonderful programs that we're offering. Families, thank you so much for taking the time to come and listen to what we had to say about CTE and the P-TECH and STEAM school. Always remember, what questions are always welcome. Please, reach out to the CTE office, and everyone enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. And a final thank you to Family Engagement for putting these informational sessions together for the students and their families.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone.